Welcome to our Sunday specials. Now, the recent oil tanker explosion that claimed lives and property in Lagos appears to have increased safety calls from different quarters in the state. Exactly 1 month after the tragic incident, Nigerians call for an outright ban on the activities of articulated vehicles during the day. Now, their call may not go far, as the government has only restricted their movements to designated routes. In this Sunday special, Abimbola Agbebiyi takes a look at the menace posed by heavy-duty vehicles on Nigerian roads.
They are heavy and sometimes swift when in motion. That rumbling and almost deafening sound when it moves on the road gives it an appearance which many see as intimidating.
You get scared. When they are driving past you, you get scared.
You drive like reckless because they believe they are driving a big, so they try to intimidate smaller cars.
The history of heavy-duty vehicles on Nigerian roads may be as old as the country itself. And although they form an important part of the nation's economy, the atrocities caused by them in recent times have left many quivering. Memories of the Todola tragic incident are still fresh in the minds of the people, 1 month after an oil tanker which had an apparent brake failure exploded, claiming lives and property. This has raised many questions on the minds of Nigerians who simply could not understand why such scary-looking vehicles should be allowed to contest roads with smaller vehicles.
As the recent tragedy that struck in Lagos continues to generate more reactions, Nigerians are still calling for outright ban on the activities of articulated vehicles on Lagos roads during the day.
I want them to be moving only in the night, between 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. They stop.
Policy are meant to be changed. You cannot compare truck with human life. The truck should only be allowed in the night. If they are allowed in the night, I believe that in the night they should be able to convey all their goods and their container. While in the daytime they should allow other road users to make use of it.
Lagos State government is exploring alternative modes of transportation of petroleum products to separate passenger traffic from cargo movements within the metropolis. All of these in the interest of public safety and order.
While the state government struggles to prevent a recurrence, the backlash continued on the subject of these accidents, drivers of articulated vehicles.
Some of these tanker drivers, when they are being apprehended or they are being accosted or being stopped from doing certain things, they will resort to unionism. They will say that the union said they should go on strike for being controlled. Look at what they are doing, the trailers are doing on the bridges of Lagos now.
We must call on the government and our unions to be responsible. A situation whereby a tanker driver is arrested, either for negligence or the failure to fix the tires of his vehicle, and a strike is pronounced, must stop.
The sector commander of the Federal Safety Corps lamented the poor state of most of these vehicles and the attitude of their drivers.
Every road user have equal right to share the road. These tankers and trailers, they feel they are the king of the road. You see them intimidating others with their horn even. The way they horn also is enough to scare you from getting close to them. While we were talking about the Todola incident, we still seeing some other trucks on the road without this thing. When I arrested the truck, it was as if the chassis was already bent. On looking at it, I discovered that about how many tires were almost completely gone. You are seeing the wires out. Majority of the trucks you see in Apapa, they are terribly old. They are older than you and I.
Tokunbo Korodo is a staunch stakeholder in the oil sector. He refuted claims made about the poor state of the articulated vehicles plying the roads. He believed the Todola tragedy was destined to happen and not the result of human error.
You can't just categorize them as ordinary driver. They are well-trained professional tanker drivers. No sensible driver will go out for a daily job and now be thinking of killing people at will. Let's go to Todola incident. I watched it too. There's no way they can remedy it than to use wedge when the brake fails. But because of the content that was pushing the vehicle and they are pushing the wedge, the truck was rolling over the wedge continuously. They even risked their life. As human being, there's nothing you can do at that particular time. That's why I say nobody should blame anybody. I can say when we are going to be religious, we can say it is destined to happen that way. The driver that came from far north, if it is not experienced, he can't be able to drive the truck from the north to Lagos.
With growing concern generated by the Otedola Bridge tragedy, the Ojuelegba truck accident easily come to mind. Eyewitnesses of past accidents in the area say the bridge is fast becoming a death trap with the pressure brought to bear on it daily by trucks and oil tankers that sometimes appear rickety.
When you see the condition of those trailers, no light, no real light, nothing. So how do you expect somebody, to be safe once those trucks are on the road? And most trucks are older than even the drivers themselves.
Becoming too much. I started living in Ojuelegba this January, and since then I've had about 3 accidents. The other one like about this year, 3 accidents, major accidents. Looking at the bridge, even if I'm passing on the bridge, I drove or they drive, I'm always scared. I pray 10 times. The bridge is weak.
Allegations of poor safety consciousness on the part of these tanker drivers may, however, be true, as a camera lens caught the shot of this young man, who apparently is the motor boy, as they are fondly called. He sat on this tiny edge of the oil tanker as the driver zooms off. While talks about poor maintenance culture by these drivers continued, Wale, a 29-year-old driver of this container-bearing vehicle, decided to brag to me about the condition of his truck.
I do, where did they solve now?
I want to know now your vehicle. The brake good, have you no brake?
My brake do okay now. Standard brake. Any match for you. Did they hear the voice?
He tried to explain to me why they drive aggressively on the roads. As far as he is concerned, truck accidents on Ojuelegba Bridge are a rarity.
That is why we intimidate all those cars and final girls, because they are too stubborn. Because anything happen, they will bring trailer. When you see this trailer, why can't you wait? Because the trailer is too big motor. That's why anytime you see trailer, you must smash brake for trailer, because trailer brake is air. Anything where us boss, the accident must happen. The one I told you that the motor is not okay. That's why the container fall at Ojuelegba, because if you carry container, you must hook the container. Look at that container now. Hook is there. You must hook the container now before you carry it out.
Here at Oshodi, a truck accident had just been averted by these emergency officials a few minutes before our arrival. It was apparently another case of careless driving.
The driver missed his road, so instead of him to come back, he wanted to turn, then he climbed the other pavement. Then the motor capsized.
Indeed, accidents involving articulated trucks have fast become a common sight on Nigerian roads. To address the issues, heavy-duty vehicles have now been restricted to designated routes, with an ultimatum issued for the drivers to obtain a certificate of roadworthiness. But most Nigerians still wish the vehicles can be restricted to nighttime movements.
We can't move at night, because anytime ship was coming to Apapa, so we can move anytime. We can't move at night at all, because it's not work. If they ban me, what of the polo that you wear, you will not see anything now. Because anything we are brought to from this container shipping is from outside country. Nigeria don't have anything.
The Lagos Sector Commander of Federal Road Safety Corps has vowed to work hand in hand with the state government to bring to book any truck driver caught flouting the state transport regulations. Motorists have been advised to obey driving rules by ensuring that a reasonable gap is left between a car and a truck or oil tanker ahead of it. Abimbola Agbibi,